The seasons are changing, and so are the feed requirements for cattle. And Dave, let's talk about where we're at and where we're going to go with the feed requirements for cattle.
Well, the winter feeding season is at an end, thankfully, and the grass is greening up, and so people will transition, or maybe already have transitioned from a winter feeding program that might include some hay here late in the winter, and then most of the winter since last fall they've probably been providing some supplement. In that supplementation program, it's probably provided vitamin A, which is really critical, as well as some phosphorus, calcium, a little bit of potassium, and then the trace minerals that you think about cattle need to reproduce and maintain a strong immune system. So that's going to stop now that winter feeding is over, and so from here on out, you know, the mineral feeder is probably going to need to provide, in many cases or most cases, those nutrients. So it's a matter of managing a mineral program now for the rest of the summer.
And since the first of the year, there have been some changes in what we can actually put in the mineral feeder.
That's a good point. The new veterinary feed directive has changed things a little bit. So the primary concern here in Oklahoma this time of year is going to be a risk of anaplasmosis. And so producers need to work with their veterinarian to determine if they should be or want to choose to include an antibiotic in their mineral supplement, and that is possible. But now that those rules have changed, you have to have basically permission and fill out a form, which is this veterinary feed directive form, to be able to do that.
And in the past, it was a little bit for the whole herd, but now it's more selective about how you administer it.
Well, I mean, it was over the counter.
Right, yeah.
In the past, it
Yeah.
was over the counter, and no longer is it available over the counter. You just have to work with your veterinarian, and if your veterinarian and you together decide that's a wise thing to do in your situation, then you look into the options to get that accomplished.
What are some other nutritional things that producers need to be thinking about as we do transition into spring and on into summer?
Well, I mean, as far as hopefully the cows are at this point in time in good enough body condition going into the breeding season. You know, calving is probably about over in many herds.
Right.
And so that the point at which body condition score is most important is calving time. So hopefully they are already in, you know, moderate body condition, what we consider a body condition score of 5, which is average. The mature cows, and like to have the heifers in a 6. So the key is from here until the day you begin their breeding season, not to let them lose a lot of ground, not to let them lose a lot of weight and condition.
And we've been fortunate with a fairly good winter with the green up and all that, but moving forward, we're probably not going to have that same lush forage.
No, I mean it always starts out green and lush, and then as it matures, quality goes down. But the tricky part of all that, Dave, this time of year is not letting them slip while, you know, there's a little bit of green grass out here, but there's not a lot. And so the cattle are excited about running around, well, they don't run around, but they go around grazing those lush blades of grass, and it's hard for them to meet their dry matter requirements this early. Now, as it grows and it sort of catches up to the cattle and passes them as far as forage availability, they'll be able to get a full, you know, a fill of high quality forage. So the challenge this time of year is not letting them slip and lose weight because they don't get enough of that high quality forage to eat. So that's why, you know, maybe extending your supplementation program a little bit longer, even though you think you see a lot of green grass, is probably a good idea.
So it's good to have that a little bit of overlap in between there.
It is good to have that overlap.
Okay, thank you much. Dave Lalman, beef cattle specialist here at Oklahoma State University.